ExamPrep.School. Alaska Bail Bond Insurance Exam, exam code InsAK-BB23 or OPBB23. There are 6 practice exams in this series. This video covers Practice Exam 1. The first 20 questions are free. In this video, we will be covering the following major categories for Practice Exam 1. Bail bond licensing and core rules, collateral handling and fiduciary duties, definitions and rating, forfeitures and unclaimed excess collateral, insurance regulation. Let's walk through the format. I'll read each question and its choices. Let's get started. Question 1. Under Alaska insurance regulation, the Director of Insurance may issue a cease and desist order when which condition is met? A. Upon determination that an insurer's capital and surplus have fallen below a statutory minimum. B. When an insurer fails to file its annual financial statement by the statutory deadline. C. After finding repeated willful misrepresentations in the sale or marketing of policies. D. Upon receipt of inquiries from the National Association of Insurance Commissioners regarding claims. A countdown circle appears in the top right. Once it completes, the answer is revealed. You can pause at any time if you'd like longer to think. If you'd like additional practice covering more topics, see the description for our book. The correct answer is C. This power is specifically designed to stop unfair trade practices, such as intentional misrepresentations, rather than general financial shortfalls, filing delays, or external inquiries. Reason A is not correct. Financial condition issues without unfair practice findings do not trigger cease and desist authority. Reason B is not correct. Late filing alone without evidence of unfair practice does not justify a cease and desist order. Reason D is not correct. External inquiries are not a statutory ground for issuing a cease and desist order. Question 2. Which entities fall within the scope of a market conduct examination by the Alaska Director of Insurance? A. Only domestic insurers domiciled in Alaska and their wholly owned subsidiaries. B. Only surplus lines insurers and licensed third-party administrators in Alaska. C. Specifically captive insurers that insure only parent risks and their reinsurers. D. Any insurer authorized to transact insurance in Alaska and any producer appointed by that insurer. The correct answer is D. Market conduct examinations may review activities of all insurers authorized in Alaska and the producers they appoint, not just certain lines or captive operations. Reason A is not correct. Scope extends beyond domestic insurers to all authorized insurers, including non-domestic. Reason B is not correct. It is broader than surplus lines insurers and TPAs. It covers all authorized insurers and producers. Reason C is not correct. Scope is not limited to captive insurers and their reinsurers. Question 3. According to Alaska law, the Director of Insurance must conduct a financial condition examination of each authorized insurer at least how often? A. Annually unless an insurer requests deferment in writing. B. Every 3 calendar years. C. At least once every 5 years. D. Only when notified that capital has fallen below statutory surplus levels. The correct answer is C. Statute mandates a full financial condition examination at least once every 5 years for each insurer, independent of capital notifications. Reason A is not correct. Annual examinations are not mandated. Deferment requests cannot replace the 5-year minimum. Reason B is not correct. The law specifies a 5-year minimum, not a 3-year cycle. Reason D is not correct. Examinations are required periodically, not only upon capital deficiency notices. Question 4. Which description best captures the Director's subpoena authority under Alaska insurance law? A. May compel only attendance and testimony of employees and agents of domestic insurers. B. Applies solely to document production and cannot compel personal testimony. C. Is limited to subpoenaing only active insurance producers domiciled in Alaska. D. May require production of records and compel testimony from any person engaged in insurance, regardless of location. The correct answer is D. The director's authority extends to compelling both records and testimony from any person involved in the insurance business without geographic limitation. Reason A is not correct. Scope is broader than just domestic insurer employees and agents. Reason B is not correct. Power includes both document production and personal testimony. Reason C is not correct. Authority is not confined to Alaska-domiciled producers. Question 5. Under Alaska statutes, what is the maximum administrative penalty the Director of Insurance may impose per violation? A. Up to $500 per violation. B. Up to $2,500 per violation. C. Up to $5,000 per violation. D. Up to $10,000 per violation. The correct answer is C. Statutory provisions cap the administrative penalty at $5,000 for each violation of insurance laws or regulations. Reason A is not correct. Penalty limits exceed $500 under the insurance code. Reason B is not correct. The cap is higher than $2,500 for each violation. Reason D is not correct. The statutory maximum does not reach $10,000 per violation. Question 6. Following a severe volcanic eruption threatening multiple Alaskan communities, the Director of Insurance issues an emergency order suspending cancellation, non-renewal, and statutory deadlines for property and casualty policies in the designated emergency zone. Under Alaska's Insurance Code and the Administrative Procedure Act, which statement is correct regarding the scope, duration, and statutory effect of that emergency order? A. It is effective upon filing, may modify or suspend any insurance requirement, and is valid for 120 days with one 60-day renewal. B. It becomes effective 30 days after statewide publication, remains only during the declared emergency, and expires when the emergency ends. C. It must be approved by the legislature within 45 days or is repealed, and it cannot address rates or premiums. D. It can be applied retroactively to claims occurring up to 90 days before issuance, but cannot extend original policy terms. The correct answer is A. The Director's emergency orders take effect immediately upon filing, can override or suspend any insurance statute or regulation, and under Alaska law remain in effect for 120 days with a one-time 60-day extension. Reason B is not correct. Delaying effectiveness by 30 days and tying expiration strictly to the declared emergency contradicts the immediate effect and fixed-term structure of Alaska's emergency orders. Reason C is not correct. Emergency orders under the Insurance Code are not subject to legislative approval and can address rate and premium issues when necessary. Reason D is not correct. Alaska's emergency orders do not operate retroactively to past claims or alter original policy term expirations beyond the specified emergency duration. Question 7. Which of the following individuals must obtain an Alaska bail bond producer license before engaging in bail bond transactions in the state? A. A salaried employee who exclusively provides defendants with legal counsel on bail procedures. B. An individual who negotiates or solicits bail bond contracts on behalf of a surety insurer. C. A person who refers potential defendants to licensed bail agents without receiving compensation. D. A corporate officer who reviews underwriting guidelines for bail bond. Risks but does not solicit business. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is an individual who negotiates or solicits bail bond contracts, because Alaska law requires anyone who sells, solicits, or negotiates bail bonds to hold a producer license. Reason A is not correct. Providing only legal counsel on bail procedures does not constitute soliciting or negotiating bail bonds under Alaska law. Reason C is not correct. Unpaid referrals to licensed bail agents are expressly exempt from the licensing requirement. Reason D is not correct. Reviewing underwriting guidelines without engaging in solicitation does not trigger the producer license requirement. Question 8. Under Alaska's bail bond licensing rules, which condition must a non-resident applicant satisfy to qualify for a bail bond producer license in Alaska? A. Maintain the applicant's principal place of business within Alaska at all times. B. Hold a valid bail bond producer license in the applicant's home state or jurisdiction. C. Submit evidence of U.S. citizenship or lawful permanent resident status. D. Register an Alaska office with at least one full-time resident bail producer. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is holding a valid bail bond producer license in the home state, as non-resident applicants must be licensed and in good standing in their primary jurisdiction to qualify in Alaska. Reason A is not correct. Maintaining a principal business in Alaska alone does not satisfy the non-resident licensing statute. Reason C is not correct. Proof of citizenship or residence is required for all applicants but is not the non-resident reciprocity condition. Reason D is not correct. Establishing an office with staff does not meet the non-resident licensing reciprocity requirement. Question 9. As part of the bail bond producer licensing process in Alaska, applicants must submit how many sets of legible fingerprints to the Department of Public Safety and the FBI? A. 1 set of fingerprints. B. 2 sets of fingerprints. C. 3 sets of fingerprints. D. 4 sets of fingerprints. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is 2 sets, since applicants must provide 2 legible fingerprint cards for state and national criminal history record checks. Reason A is not correct. 1 set is insufficient. Alaska requires 2 sets for state and FBI processing. Reason C is not correct. 3 sets exceed the statutory fingerprint submission requirement. Reason D is not correct. 4 sets are not required under Alaska law for background checks. Question 10. An Alaska bail bond producer license expires biennially on the licensee's birth month. By which date must a renewal application be received to ensure timely renewal without penalty? A. The first day of the birth month. B. The last day of the birth month. C. 30 days before the end of the birth month. D. 60 days before the end of the birth month. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is the last day of the birth month, as Alaska statute requires the renewal application to be received by that date for a license expiring biennially. Reason A is not correct. The first day of the month is too early. Statute specifies the end of birth month. Reason C is not correct. There is no 30-day advance receipt requirement in this context. Reason D is not correct. A 60-day advance receipt is not mandated by Alaska licensing rules. Question 11. If an Alaska bail bond producer fails to renew a license on time, within what period after expiration may the license be reinstated upon payment of a delinquency fee? A. Within 6 months after expiration. B. Within 1 year after expiration. C. Within 18 months after expiration. D. Within 2 years after expiration. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is within 1 year, since Alaska allows reinstatement within 12 months after expiration upon payment of the specified delinquency fee. Reason A is not correct. A 6-month period is shorter than the 12-month reinstatement window set by statute. Reason C is not correct. 18 months exceeds the statutory reinstatement timeframe. Reason D is not correct. A 2-year period is longer than permitted under Alaska law. Question 12. Within how many days must an Alaska bail bond producer notify the director of any final administrative action taken against the producer by another jurisdiction's insurance regulator? A. 15 days after the final action. B. 30 days after the final action. C. 45 days after the final action. D. 60 days after the final action. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is 30 days, as Alaska law requires licensees to report any out-of-state administrative action within 30 days of its final disposition. Reason A is not correct. 15 days is shorter than the 30-day reporting requirement. Reason C is not correct. 45 days exceeds the statutory reporting deadline. Reason D is not correct. 60 days is beyond the time frame mandated by Alaska regulations. Question 13. A licensed bail agent in Alaska was indicted on a felony charge in June and convicted on September 15th. Under Alaska insurance regulations, by when must the agent notify the Director of Insurance of the conviction? A. Within 10 days of the arrest. B. Within 30 days of the conviction. C. Within 30 days of the arrest. D. Within 10 days of the conviction. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is to notify within 30 days of the conviction because Alaska regulations require licensed producers to report criminal convictions or pleas within that time frame to the Director of Insurance. Reason A is not correct. Reporting within 10 days of arrest is incorrect because the requirement applies after conviction rather than initial charges. Reason C is not correct. Reporting within 30 days of arrest is incorrect because the rule focuses on the date of conviction, not the arrest date. Reason D is not correct. Reporting within 10 days of conviction is too soon. The regulation specifies a 30-day period after conviction. Question 14. Under Alaska bail bond regulations, which of the following actions constitutes prohibited rebating? A. Reducing the premium for a renewal client who has maintained a clean payment record. B. Providing a new client with a gift card to a local restaurant as an inducement to purchase a bond. C. Allowing a defendant to cancel a bond without charge if a friend is referred. D. Charging a nominal service fee in addition to the statutory premium. The correct answer is B. This option is an inducement of value given to a client to influence the purchase of the bond, which is prohibited as rebating under state regulations. Reason A is not correct. Reducing premiums for renewals is permitted under rate guidelines and is not considered a rebate. Reason C is not correct. Allowing cancellation for referrals does not involve giving something of value to induce the original purchase. Reason D is not correct. Charging a service fee in addition to premium is separate from rebating and may be regulated but is not a rebate. Question 15. Under Alaska law, twisting in an insurance transaction is defined as which practice? A. Persuading a bond applicant to drop an existing bond and purchase a new one primarily to generate additional commission, regardless of client need. B. Altering specified collateral requirements to better accommodate a client's financial situation. C. Offering a bondholder reduced premium rates when several bonds are executed concurrently. D. Granting a partial premium credit for clients who appear on time at court hearings. The correct answer is A. This practice involves inducing a client to replace an existing policy for the agent's financial gain rather than the client's benefit, which is prohibited as twisting. Reason B is not correct. Adjusting collateral requirements for client financial fit is a legitimate accommodation, not twisting. Reason C is not correct. Offering bundled rate discounts is a marketing practice, not a replacement inducement. Reason D is not correct. Providing a timely appearance credit is a permissible incentive, not the forced replacement of coverage. Question 16. Under Alaska bail bond regulations, which of the following is an example of misrepresenting bond benefits or terms? A. Stating that collateral will be returned immediately upon case dismissal when regulations require up to 30 days for processing. B. Failing to provide a written notice detailing premium limitations before issuing the bond. C. Using precise statutory language when explaining coverage details to a client. D. Confirming that the client understands the statutory premium rate schedule before signing. The correct answer is A. This describes a false statement about the timing of collateral return, which misleads the client regarding bond terms and is prohibited. Reason B is not correct. Omitting required disclosures is a regulatory violation, but not a misrepresentation of bond terms. Reason C is not correct. Using official statutory language accurately describes terms and is not misleading. Reason D is not correct. Ensuring client understanding of rate schedules is a proper compliance activity, not misrepresentation. Question 17. Which action constitutes defamation of an insurer under Alaska bail bond law? A. Publicly claiming a licensed insurer is insolvent when no credible evidence supports the assertion. B. Criticizing an insurer's underwriting guidelines in a professional review. C. Complaining to the regulator about slow claim processing based on personal experience. D. Reporting a factual statement about an insurer's financial ratings obtained from a published rating agency. The correct answer is A. Making a false statement about an insurer's financial stability without evidence damages reputation and qualifies as defamation under state law. Reason B is not correct. Expressing professional opinions about underwriting criteria is commentary, not false defamation. Reason C is not correct. Factual complaints to regulators based on experience are not defamatory statements. Reason D is not correct. Reporting verified ratings from a published source is truthful and not defamatory. Question 18. Rapid Bond Agency circulates a memo citing AS 21.09. 60, stating that all appointed bail producers must refuse any bond request involving a defendant referred by an independent surety investigator not on its approved list, and warns that noncompliance will result in immediate appointment termination. Under Alaska's ban on boycott, coercion, or intimidation, which aspect of this memo is prohibited? A. Citing AS 21.09. Wants to know as the legal basis for its internal policy. B. Requiring producers to refuse bond requests referred by unapproved investigators. C. Warning producers that appointment termination will follow policy violations. D. Directing producers to send written notices to clients about agency affiliation. The correct answer is B. The statute prohibits coercing or intimidating a producer to boycott another person by refusing business based on referral source. Reason A is not correct. Referencing a statute for policy is permissible and not coercive. Reason C is not correct. Enforcing internal policy through contract termination is a business decision, not an illegal boycott. Reason D is not correct. Requiring disclosure to clients about affiliation is a regulatory notice, not coercion. Question 19. Which of the following best describes the statutory purpose of the Alaska Insurance Guarantee Association? A. Adjudicate consumer complaints and oversee enforcement actions against insurers. B. Approve and regulate insurance premium rates and policy forms for the state market. C. Provide financial support and reinsurance to solvent insurers to maintain market stability. D. Protect policyholders and claimants by administering and paying covered claims of insolvent insurers. The correct answer is D. The Alaska Insurance Guarantee Association is established by statute to ensure that policyholders and claimants receive payment of covered benefits when an insurer becomes insolvent. Other functions such as rate regulation, reinsurance support, or complaint adjudication fall outside its statutory mandate. Reason A is not correct. Handling consumer complaints and enforcement is a regulatory function, not a guarantee association duty. Reason B is not correct. Rate and form approval is the responsibility of the insurance director, not the guarantee association. Reason C is not correct. The association deals only with insolvent insurers, not providing support to solvent companies. Question 20. A licensed bail bond insurer becomes insolvent on January 1st. On February 15th, a claimant obtains a judgment against the insurers insured for $10,000 in compensatory damages and $5,000 in punitive damages. Under Alaska's Guarantee Association law, which portion of this judgment is a covered claim? A. The combined $15,000 compensatory and punitive award. B. The $5,000 in punitive damages only. C. The $10,000 in compensatory damages only. D. No portion because the judgment was entered after insolvency. The correct answer is C. The Guarantee Association covers obligations an insolvent insurer owed under its policies, including compensatory damages, but punitive damages are explicitly excluded as covered claims. Reason A is not correct. Combining compensatory and punitive damages is incorrect, because punitive damages are not covered under guarantee law. Reason B is not correct. Punitive damages alone are not covered claims, as they are expressly excluded from coverage. Reason D is not correct. A compensatory judgment entered after insolvency remains a covered claim. Only punitive damages are excluded. Enjoyed this practice test? Tap like, hit subscribe, and share it with a classmate. Got a question we should tweak? Comment below. We read them all. Find full practice exam books in the description or at ExamPrep.School.